喂喂。Testing 1 2 3 OK。 你知唔知道其實呢度我哋係有 YouTube 直播㗎？我 send 個 email 咧，係裡面有個 attachment 嘅，係咪有啲 link 嘅？其實係 YouTube 直播，你 call 我 send 咗俾你㗎啦。Emma send 咗俾你，我應該未收到，我 send 埋俾你。吓？點樣咩？Emma 係咪姓黎㗎？Chan hello，得啦，終於有反應啦。Hello。其實我不嬲，我每一堂咧，我係會有 YouTube 直播嘅。你 click 翻嗰條 link 咧，我咪 send 條 email 俾你哋嘅。其實 click 翻條 YouTube link 咧，你睇到喺度上緊堂嘅。係啊，所以點解你會見到阿 David 而家係坐定定啊，落晒咪啊，咁樣喺度講就係咁解。因為咧上次咧我喺度上堂嘅時候咧，有好多同事投訴話，見到你個肚腩喺度嘅咁樣。因為我企起身咧，跟住行嚟行去 OK。好，等多一陣間啊。點解你喺度嘅？好有壓力喎，唔好搞啲咁嘅嘢你哋。Hello，揾位坐低先啦。坐低先啦，係啊，因為咧嗱，我哋咧今日咧係有 YouTube 直播㗎，我哋係會有，咦，唔係好夠位係咪啊？其實咧，你哋咧下次咧，如果上堂嘅時候咧，當然啦，最好就嚟上堂啦。但是咧，如果你真係嚟唔到嘅話咧，咁可以喺條 YouTube link 安坐位中嚟去聽我上堂嘅，得唔得？咁就應該每個人而家你收到我 email 嘛？你哋係咪啊？OK。Because for this session, we will broadcast to the rest of the world, so I will use English to deliver today's session. Okay. Well, maybe let us start now. Okay. Basically, this is actually the second part of the PowerPivot session. Okay. For the first part, okay, Basically, I have already go through the operation of both the Power Query data model, okay, and data model. However, okay, I just have a touch-based knowledge provided in the last session on what is PowerPivot. So for today's session, I will focus more on how to use the PowerPivot to generate a report for your daily operation. Okay, as I know, most of you didn't attend the previous session. So at the very beginning of this session, I will have a recap, okay, for the knowledge of the first lesson, okay, to net for those who didn't attend the first session to know more about what we have go through in the previous lesson, okay? So, what we will cover today is, okay, analyze data with PowerPivot. Basically, this is the second part of the PowerPivot lesson, okay? Let me have a give you some background information first, because after the upgrade of the Microsoft Excel from 2007 to 2016 right now, okay, basically Microsoft Excel is not the Microsoft Excel we know before, because I will give a term called Power Excel to the existing version. The reason why, because maybe 2 years back, Microsoft has started to implement a process to analyze data. This is actually the best practice. They suggest us to do the data analysis. What they suggest is like that. First of all, they will suggest us to retrieve those raw data, okay, from any data source. Okay, for example, I think most of us will retrieve data from the ERP system of Li and Feng. That means the order management system, okay? So, what we got finally from the XTS is CSV file, task file, or Excel file, right? After we retrieve those raw data, because Microsoft suggests us not to alter any single field in the source file. So, Microsoft provide a very powerful tool for us. That is the Power Query. Basically, what is Power Query? Power Query is basically a feature for us to retrieve useful data from the raw data source. Okay, the concept is like that. In the old time, we will treat, okay, we will just simply massage data directly from our data source file. Just like, okay, the source file, okay, after we retrieve from the XTS, what we got is the Excel file. And then we will kickstart, okay, to convert those raw data on the same Excel spreadsheet to convert it into a report, right? However, this is not the best practice that Microsoft suggests, because once you convert those raw data, that means it is very difficult for you to reverse back, okay, to the raw data and kickstart to do another analysis. So that's why they will introduce the Power Query concept to the new best practice. Basically, Power Query is a some programming language, okay, that's help you, okay, to retrieve the useful data. Each time you run the Power Query, then they will do it each time, okay, to retrieve the useful data for you. After you apply the Power Query, then most of the useful data has already been retrieved. Then you may put them into a data model. Basically, data model is a new concept for you, because in the old time, if you would like to kickstart PowerPivot analysis, but pivot table analysis, what you can do is to apply the pivot table analysis on a single table, right? However, now, if you would like to, okay, to do pivot table analysis on data source, okay, from multiple channels, then you may first of all to consolidate those data source into a data model, and then apply the PowerPivot analysis tools to generate a report for you. This is actually the best practice of doing data analysis nowadays, suggested by Microsoft. Okay, so let's have a look here. Okay, let's have a look what is data modeling. Okay, in order to let you know more about what is data modeling, maybe we kickstart from an example first. Okay, I have already sent you an Excel file, right? Right? The Excel file, basically the name of the Excel file is sample recap of XLSX. Can you see this Excel file? I've already sent you through email. Okay, please open this Excel file. Please open this Excel file. Once you open this Excel file, what you get here are several Excel spreadsheets, right? Several Excel spreadsheets. Okay, in the previous session, okay, I have already taught colleague on how to retrieve data directly from a CSV file, okay, with the Power Query. And for today, I will kickstart, okay, with in case if what you got are the data from the Excel format. So what should you do to retrieve those useful data from an Excel spreadsheet? Okay, so we'll kickstart with this set of data first. First of all, okay, what you can see here is several different spreadsheets. Okay, the first one is transaction detail, right? The second one is the store information. Third one, customer information. The fourth one is the product category. And the fifth one and the sixth one is the item information, right? So, what you can see here is I would like to do analysis on this 6 table. However, what should I do to kickstart? Because in past, if I just know how to operate with the pivot table, then what I can do is to apply the pivot table analysis on a single table. However, altogether I have 6 tables. Then what should we do first? So I would suggest you to do the first thing is to convert each spreadsheet of data into a table. So how to do it? How to do it? Very simple. First, okay, just go to the first spreadsheet. Okay, transaction detail, right? Just move your active cell to this area, and then click the Insert tab over here. Click the Insert tab over here, and then can you see a button called the table, right? Just simply click table, and over here you can see create table, create table, and then by default, the Microsoft Excel will select the current region for you. What is the meaning for current region? As you can see here, the active cell I have already put in the C6 cell, right? If, okay, this area, the Microsoft Excel suspect it is a table, then it will treat as a current region. So that's why they will select the current region for you, and the current region is from A1 to H90,000 something, all right? Okay, so, and here, we click this tab box. We say, okay, this table, we will have the table header. So just click the My Table Has Header. After that, click OK. So what you can see here is we will have an additional tab over here called Design. And under the option Table Tools, right? And then on the left-hand side of the Design ribbon, can you see over here, we've got something called the table name. Because this is the first table we generate under this Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, this Excel file. So the default table name is table 1. However, if you say, David, I would like to make a more meaningful table name for it. So what should we do? Just click here, and then for me, I will give a Hungarian notation name for this table. Let's say TBL is the data type. Because this one is a transaction table, so TBL trans. I will name this table as TBL trans. Okay, basically what is Hungarian notation? Okay, in the academic field of computer science, if I would like to give a meaningful name for a data object, for a data object, such as a table or a query, the first three characters of the object, I will give them the short form of the data type of it. For example, let's say this one is a table. I will give the small letter form TBL to notate it as a table. Okay, so TBL trans, I will give this is the transaction table. Okay, and then we do the same thing. Okay, let's say here for this one, store information. This table is basically a table for the store information, right? Just click over here, and then again click insert, and then over here just click table. The current region has already selected, so click OK. And over here for the design, I will name this table as TBL store. Sorry, STORE store. Got it? Okay, the first one, TBL chance. The second one, TBL store. STORE. Okay. And the third one here is the customer information, right? We just do the same thing over here. Just click here and insert. And click table again. Click OK. And over here, name this table as TBL cust. C-U-S-T, cust. To make it simple, I just create table for the first feed spreadsheet is good enough for this example. Okay, just do it. Okay, the first one, name it as TBL chance. Second one, TBL store. Third one is the TBL cust. Okay? It's okay? I just want to take picture to record, okay, how big my class is today. Okay, finally, we have already created 3 tables for it, right? Because in the in the previous lesson, okay, what I teach you is to retrieve data directly from the source file in CSV format. But for today's session, once you get this Excel spreadsheet, so how to retrieve those data for analysis? First of all, I will teach you to convert them into a table first. And second, how to retrieve useful information. And at this moment, I will recall back, okay, the application of using Power Query. So the second thing, after the source file is ready, okay, as you can see here, after the source are ready. So the second thing we should do is use the Power Query to retrieve useful information. So at this moment, just go back to the transaction detail spreadsheet, and then over here, take the data again. Okay, data tab. And then over here, for the previous lesson, okay, the mandatory steps, okay, to call the Power Query features is to click this button, get data, and then to choose the corresponding features we would like to apply to retrieve data. However, for today's session, as you can see here, all the data are in Excel table format. So, can you see here, we've got another shortcut for us. That is something called the from table range. Can you see this option? Okay, so click the from table range and see what happened. See, what's that? Because the active cell, I already moved my Excel spreadsheet active cell to the table. So once we click the button, then the Power Query will directly to retrieve data from this table, from the select table to the Power Query. Is it clear? Is it clear? Can you see those data has already been retrieved to the Power Query already, right? And then over here, okay, just as a recap, okay, just have a recap, see here. Okay, as I mentioned before, okay, for this part, it's basically for the data retrieved from the Excel table. And here is the what? Is the data in Power Query. And the right hand side, can you see over here? Basically, this is the QV setting panel. Okay, as I mentioned before, Power Query is basically a set of programming language to help you to retrieve data. So we need to name them as a specific name. So by default, they will name the Power Query name as the table name. So the default name will become TBL trans. However, as a professional programmer, I think we better to rename it because we need to differentiate. This one is a query and that one is a table. So for this one, TBL trans, okay, I would like to rename it to this one, QRY trans. I will rename it as QRY trans. QRY stands for query, and trans is the name of the query. That means, okay, this query will retrieve data from the trans table, okay? And here, just have a look here. Can you see on the right hand side? We still have another section called the applied steps, right? Basically, what are the applied steps? In the old time, if you say, well, David, if over here, I would like to do some operation on this set of data, so what should you do? Okay, let's say, here, can you see something called the store ID, right? And here we've got something called the sales day, right? If I say, I would like to sort them in ascending order, then what should I do? Okay, I just click this button. And then over here, we've got two options. The first one is sort ascendingly. And the second one is sort descendingly. If I click sort ascendingly, see what happens. And they will sort all the records inside this query table in descending order, right? However, can you see on the right hand side? Can you see over here? We've got one more step over here. It say, okay, the table has already been sorted, so they will have a step been shown under the apply step over here, and the step called the sorted column, sorted rows. Can you see these steps? If you say, David, I would like to resume normal without any sorting, then what should you do? In Power Query, it is very simple. You may just simply click this button, the remove button. After you click the remove button, then the data has already been resumed, okay, back to the original one for you, right? So the beauty for Power Query, the first thing I would like to tell you is all the steps will be recorded. If you would like to resume back to normal, then you may just simply click, okay, or remove those steps on the right hand side panel. Okay, this is the first one I would like to teach you. Okay, the second thing that is, okay, what does it mean here for the apply steps? Okay, let me show you. The first step is called what? It's called source. What does it mean? It means it will retrieve data directly from our data source. That is the step called source. And then after that, okay, you see over here, for each column, can you see over here, order ID and store ID and customer ID? Can you see over here? Okay, all of them didn't have any data type. So, for the second step over here is, the Power Query will automatically assign a suitable data type for each column. So, after this step, then our table, for each column of the table, will have a suitable data type for each column. For example, have a look here. For the sales day, they will assign a data type for it. And for this one, for the customer ID, they will assign a test data type for it. And for the order ID, over here, they will assign a numerical data type for it. Of course, if you say, the system only assign a data type for a specific column, so what should I do? Okay, as you can see here, if you say, well, this one, the store ID have some problem, I would like to change the data type by myself, what should I do? Just simply click this button. Then over here, you can see you may change the data type by yourself by selecting the option inside this drop-down list box. Is it okay? Okay, now let's carry on. Okay, for example, here, what's the use of the PuP query? As I mentioned before, it will help you to retrieve some suitable or useful information for you to do analysis, right? If you say, how to retrieve data, what should I do? Let's say here. As you can see here is something called the sales day, right? Most of the time, people would like to retrieve data or separate data from the sales day, because for the sales day, it's not a atomic data. Do you know what is atomic data? In database management, atomic data, that means, okay, we cannot further split the data further. What does it mean? For example, for this day, sales day, we've got the year, month, and days and time data, right? If we further split it, we can split it into days and time. If we further split the days, we can split furtherly, have year, month, and days, right? So this data is not atomic. The reason why we would like to split our column into atomic data, the reason is more easier for us to do analysis. Or else, if you say, wow, over here is a sales date, then it is very difficult to carry out more complicated analysis over here. So let us try. Okay, how to split this column? As you can see here, over here, can you see over here on the ribbon? We've got two different tabs. The first tab called transform, and the second one called the add column, right? So what is the differences between the transform and add column? Okay, let me show you from the transform first. Because for the transform, as you can see here, we also have something called the split column, right? And also from the add column, we also got something like the no split column over here. Okay, let me show you here. Okay, here, okay, for transform, we got something called the dates features over here, right? And for the add column, we also got something called the dates feature over here. And what are the differences between the dates feature inside add column and transform? Okay, let me show you. For example, over here, we've got the sales day. We first of all select this column. And over here, we first of all select the transform, right? And then over here, we just go to the dates, see what happened. Inside the dates, what can you see is, okay, from the sales day, we would like to know the year, month, or quarter, right? Something like that. If we simply choose, okay, under the transform tab in dates, okay, if we select the fun features called the year, see what happened. Then what you get here is the sales day will transform to year only. That means most of our information inside the sales day has been gone, including the days, month, and time, right? However, how to resume it? Please tell me, how to resume it? Just simply click what? Click this one. Okay, the extract year option over here in apply step. Just click this and remove it. Then step has been resumed. That means, okay, most of the time for analyze data, I will not suggest the transform, those features under the transform tab. I will suggest you to use the add column. The reason why, let's have a look. For example, I would like to know the year. So if I click, okay, the day features under the add column, see what happened. Dates, year, and year. What we got at the last column of the query table is the year. It will give given an additional column for us, right? If you say, I would like to further, okay, to retrieve the month, the date, and also the time. So what should I do? I will suggest you to select this one again, go to date, month, and month to retrieve the month, okay, and add an additional column at the end of this table. This is my suggestion. Because in the old time, if you would like to retrieve the date, year, or time, okay, with the Excel formula, it is very difficult for you. Do you know why? Because a colleague just gave me an example last week, right? And what the colleague, okay, encounter is, well, it is very difficult to retrieve dates and time, okay, from a date which in a single cell, because the Excel spreadsheet cannot recognize the date format. So finally, I suggest her, okay, to use the Power Query. Okay, for Power Query, maybe they will have some AI hide behind, okay, to recognize this column is a date, and recognize where is the date, where is the day information, where is the month date information, where is the year information. So if you apply the Power Query, it is much more easier for you to massage data. This is the first thing I would like to tell you. Is okay? Okay, the second thing is like that. On the left hand side, if you click over here, it will show you in your Excel spreadsheet altogether. Now you will have one query, QRY chance. Okay, altogether have one query. That means if the more query you create, the more queries you will find on the left hand side panel. Is it clear? Okay, this is only a recap. Okay, and now what should you do? Okay, just go back here, go to the file, and then over here, select this option. This option called the close and load to. Can you see this? Once you see the close and load to, click this. And then what you've got over here is something like this. Okay? Okay, to import data, to form it as a table, as a pivot table, as a pivot chart, or as a only create connection. Okay, if you click here, only create connection, and click this one, add this data to data model. What does it mean? Because over here, inside this Excel spreadsheet, we already have one spreadsheet to store those source data, right? If we select the first option, what does it mean? If the query will retrieve data from this spreadsheet and then create another set of data and keep it and store in an additional memory space inside this Excel file. That means all this Excel file will be what? Will be expanded size, and then more disk space will be occupied in your machine. So this option is not suggested. So that's why I will choose this option, only create connection. What does it mean? That means, okay, no more additional memory space will be occupied. That means no more additional table will be generated. Again, this is the first thing I would like to choose. And the second thing, that is, you better select this option, add the data to the data model. Because, as I mentioned before, if we have more than one table, need to do data analysis, then we need to form a data model for them. All this kind of information should be put inside the data table, okay, a data model. So that's why, for convenience, okay, I would suggest you to click this option as well. That means both build connection and add those data into the data model to do it at once, okay, and at one time. So after you select this option, click OK. See what happens. On the left hand side, you can see the panel retrieving data. And then over here, on the left hand side, you can see altogether for this, the query, the trans query, altogether it retrieved data, okay, altogether 90,718 records. Can you see on the right hand side? If you mouse over, okay, this query, then they will have the what? They will have a preview for you, okay, to show the first the topmost 100 records, okay, for you. This is what we do, okay, for query. This is the first thing I would like you to do. And the second thing is, okay, to do the same step, the same procedure. To use the PowerPivot query to retrieve useful information from the store table and the customer table as well. Just follow my steps here, okay. Go to the store information table here, and then go to data, and then click the from table range. After that, then they will retrieve those data, okay, to the PowerPivot query. And over here, if no more additional thing you would like to massage this set of data, then just simply rename it, okay, from TBL store to QRY store, just like what I'm doing. Okay, and then after that, just go to the codes low file, codes and node 2, right? The same thing, and then select this option, only create connection, and also click this checkbox, add this data to the data model. Just do the same thing. Is it clear? After that, okay. Again, on the right hand side, it will show you all together. We have already retrieved with the query, okay, to retrieve altogether 229 rows. Again, do the same thing. Customer information, okay. Here from table range. If no further analysis is required, just the same. Go here to rename the TBL cusp to be QRY cusp. Do the same thing. Go to File, Codes and Load to. Over here, to build the connection only. And then add this data to the data model. Again, OK. Let's see what happened. On the right hand side, we've got altogether 9,206 rows has been loaded. Okay. So, as a sum up, okay. Let me show you more things, okay, to give you a complete picture. The first thing, okay, I would like to tell you is, okay, over here, we've got all together 3 Excel spreadsheets. I would like to retrieve these 3 Excel spreadsheets data to do data analysis. But the first thing is, okay, because we would like to connect these 3 tables into one data model. So what should we do? Okay, for convenience, okay, I will suggest you to use the PowerPivot query to retrieve those data, okay, to retrieve those useful data from this table. So I will teach you to click the from table range and then to apply the PowerPivot query to retrieve data from this table. So finally, we apply this the PowerPivot query to this table for 3 times. So finally, altogether, we got this 3 query. If you say, if we would like to massage this data further with the PowerPivot query, then what should we do? Very simple, just on the right hand side, double click the specific query, just like that. For example, if you would like to go to the customer query, just simply double click the customer query, and then the system will bring you back to the PowerPivot query to do further data massage. Okay, for example, like here, okay, if you say, well, we find that here we've got something called the education and married, something like this, right? If you say, I would like to have a further, okay, analysis for married, this status, so what should I do? Let's say, okay, please click here in the filter. Because for the status, we have 2 different status. The first one is married, and the second one is single, right? If you say, well, David, I don't want to do data analysis with married or single, because for data analysis, most of the time, we would like to convert them into numerical format. So what should we do? Very simple. As I mentioned before, is first of all to highlight this column. And the second thing is what? Of course, you may choose transform, right? However, if you say, David, I don't want to lose any data, so what should you do? I would suggest you to use what? Add column. And over here in add column, what should we do? Okay, let's say, can you see something called the conditional column? Conditional column. Can you see this? If I say, well, I would like to have an conditional column, just take the conditional column. See what happens. That means it will add an additional conditional column in this table, right? For example, over here, if I would say, David, I would like to name the additional column as Mary, your status index underscore. Let's say I will name this column as status index. Okay? And over here, what should I do? Let's say, okay, I would like to depends on the column value, okay, to give the status index a number. So what should I do? First of all, column name. Which column name? Marital status. If the marital status is equal to what? To married. And what should I do? The output is 2. Because married must be even number, right? Or else, what should we do? Or else, then become 1 single, right? This is my index, right? So after that, what happened? Just click OK. And then on your right hand side, you can see an additional column has been added called the status index. And then all the married status will become what? Become 2. For those single will become 1. Right? Just have a look, see whether it is correct or not. Okay, I just filter over here, single. And then on the right hand side, what you can see here is 1, right? You can see that. But please be reminded, all the activity you have did to the query will be recorded and saved. So be aware of it. For example, like what I just did before is to add a filter to the married status, okay, to filter out all the single record, right? So on the right hand side, you will see an additional step has been added. That's something called the filtered rows, right? So if you would like to resume this filter operation, please remove this step by clicking the close button over here. Is it clear? So as you can see here, all the things will be resumed, okay, and with an additional column called the status index. Is it clear? Okay, so again, if you are the first time to use the Power Query, I would suggest you not to use those features under the transform ribbon because it is not so safe because you may lose data. However, if you would like to practice more, I would suggest you to use the add column instead. It is much more safe. Okay. So after that, click the file again, and then over here, click the close and load, and it will bring you back to Microsoft Excel, right? So that means, okay, whenever if you would like to further massage, okay, which type of data, which set of data you would like to retrieve, you may double click the query and then to change the query and retrieve another kind of data with your specific criteria. So now the second thing I would like to teach you. Now we have already retrieved those data with Power Query, right? That means we would like to form the data model. As I remind you, okay, to remember to click the what? The data model, add those queries to the data model. That means at this moment, all the data table has already been added to the data model. So how to view the data table, data model? Let's have a look here. Can you see in Microsoft Excel, under the data tab, can you see in the data ribbon? Over here, we've got a button which is green in color, right? Which is green in color, called the Manage Data Model. Manage Data Model. Please click the Manage Data Model. See what happened. This one. Manage Data Model. This one. Under the Data tab, on your right hand side, under the section called Data Tools, click this button. Manage Data Model. After you click the Manage Data Model, what can you see? Can you see this one? Basically, what is this? Once you click the Manage Data Model, in the previous session, previous lesson, I will call this one as a data model. However, the true name for this application is called the PowerPivot for Excel. Basically, at this moment, you have already go to the PowerPivot for Excel already. And inside this application, can you see on the bottom, at the bottom left corner, can you see over here, we've got something called QRY Trans, QRY Store, QRY Cuts, something like that over here. That means all the data has already been retrieved by the Power Query to this PowerPivot editor. If you click the tab over here, you can view all the data that we retrieved with the Power Query. Can you see this? For example, like this one, the QV cuts. Because with the Power Query, we add an additional column called the status index at the end of the table. So that's why inside the data model, okay, you can see this additional column inside this table. Can you see this? Just like what we did in the QV trans, because we add 2 additional columns, year and month, to this query. So at the end of this table, we've got this 2 additional columns inside this data model. Can you see this? Right? So what's the use of this environment? I find that the outlook, the layout is more or less like that of in the Power Query or in the Microsoft Excel. Then what is the differences? Okay, then I need to learn one more additional thing to do data analysis. Okay, let's see here. Okay, under the home ribbon, can you see on the right hand side? Can you see we've got a button called the diagram view? The diagram view, right? Just simply click the diagram view. See what happens. Basically, inside the diagram view, you can see all together we've got 1, 2, 3 tables, right over here. Okay, and over here, these 3 tables will show you, okay, what column they are composed of. Okay, so what should we do? Because altogether we got 3 tables, and how to retrieve data and how to do the analysis. At this moment, what we should do is to build a relationship between these 3 tables. In the old time, if you would like to do analysis, okay, on those tables, maybe several tables from different data source. So what you should do first is to what? To use a function called VLOOKUP, okay, to build another additional table to merge all the data together into one. Okay, for this process, I think it will take you at least 2 to 3 hours, right? So that's the source, the reason why you need to OT every day, right? So with the help of the PowerPivot, let's see what happened. Okay, as you can see here, okay, basically, the first table I would like to mention is the QV trans. Basically, what's the data inside this table? The QV chance, basically, that is the transaction table. What does it mean? Just like the transaction table is more or less like the case, okay, in XTS. Basically, in case, what we've got over here is the customer ID, supplier ID, and item number, right? However, what we saw in the case table, we cannot find the detailed information about the customer. What we can do in XTS is that, okay, we take the case information, and then we need to search with the search engine in the database with the customer code, and then drill in depth to get the detailed information about the customer. This is the mechanism in XTS, right? Am I right? So that means if I say I would like to link up the information, for example, like here, chance, can you see we've got something called the customer ID, right? If I say I would like to link up the relationship with the table here, the QV customer with the customer ID, then what should we do? Simple. So simply drag and drop the customer ID over here and release. And with what we've got here is they have already built a relationship. Can you see this? This is the point number one. Of course, what next is here? Can you see what we've got here is the store ID, right? If I would like to build up the relationship between the QV chance to the QV store, then what we should do here is to check the store ID to the QV store ID. Then these two ID has already been linked together. As I mentioned before, basically for each record inside the table, okay, we need to have a unique key to make sure the uniqueness of each record. And the unique key we will call it as what? As the PK. Can you remember? Can you remember what's the PK? Okay, let's say maybe most of you didn't attend my previous lesson. Okay, what is PK? I know most of you know what is PK, but my definition of PK is different from your PK, right? PK is actually primary key. Primary key. What does it mean? For example, in Hong Kong, maybe my name is David Man. Maybe in Hong Kong, there are more than one David Man. Maybe 100,000 David Man, sorry, 100 David Man in Hong Kong, right? However, how to identify this David Man from other David Man? Very simple. We will have a PK for David. The PK is my Hong Kong ID, right? This is the primary key. So if, okay, David, okay, commit some criminal, okay, if I'm being warned by the Hong Kong police, then what they say is the David Man with the Hong Kong ID, blah, 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 blah. Okay, this David Man has some problem, has committed a serious crime, he is a very dangerous criminal, something like that, okay. This is what, okay, they call David Man. So, over here, just like what we in the XTS. In XTS, basically, for each case record, the primary key is the what? Is the case number. And for example, in our customer database, the customer ID or the customer code is the PK of each customer. And for the supplier number is basically the PK for each supplier in the XTS system. Is it clear? Okay, so just like here, order ID is the PK for this transaction table. And the store ID is the PK for this for the store table. For the customer ID is the PK for the customer table. Is it clear? And over here, David, how about the ID here? Customer ID inside the transaction table and the store ID inside the transaction table. Then what's the name of these two keys? Basically, besides PK, we have another K, that is FK. FK, the full term is foreign key. What does it mean? It means we use this foreign key to map to a foreign table to look for detailed information. So that's why inside the transaction table over here, store ID is the foreign key to point us from the transaction table to the store table. And for the customer ID, this is another foreign key to help us to point to the customer table to look for the detailed information about the customer. Is it clear? So after that, you know what is PK and FK. Of course, my definition is very different from your definition. Okay, so after that, what should we do? So another thing is, okay, as you can see here, they have already been built a relationship between them. But we discover a very funny thing. That is, on the left hand side, you can see something called 1. And on the right hand side, we've got something called the star, right? Over here. What does it mean? What's 1 and 1 is star? Okay, let's have a look here. Can you see over here, we've got something called the design. Can you see something called the design? There's a tab called design. Can you see can you see over here, we've got something called the manage relationship. Can you see over here, we've got something called the manage relationship. Just click the manage relationship. See what happened. Okay, what happened? Manage relationship. See what happened. Okay, as you can see, altogether, how many relationships we have already been built? 2, because we've got create 2 lines, right? We have already created 2 lines, right? So, what are these 2 lines? Can you see here? We've got 2 lines. Okay, the first line is from what? From the table called the trans table to link to what? To link to another table called the customer table. And the other one is the trans table linked to the table called the store table, right? You see this? And also here, we also have something called the cardinality. Cardinality. The cardinality, the name of the cardinality is what? Many to 1. Many to 1. Can you see this relationship? So, over here, if we say here, as you can see from the line, the star, what does it mean? That means many. And here means 1. And here again, the star means many. And over here, 1 stand for 1. That is many to 1 relationship. What does it mean? Okay, let's have a look over here. Let's say, basically, the transaction is for recording the sales order in this shop, in different store, right? Basically, for a single customer, for example, like David, may go to this shop, this one store for more than 10 times to buy some stuff, okay, from that store. So, for David, this single person may have more than 1 transaction in a single store, right? So that's why one person, one customer may have more than 1 transaction in the database. So the relationship between the customer and the transaction, that means 1 to many. Is it correct? Just like the close customer for Li and Feng, they may have more than one time business with Li and Feng. So the relationship between the sales order and the customer is 1 to many. Is it correct? One customer may place more than 1 PO to Li and Feng to place order, okay, to make business with us. The same thing over here. For this scenario, maybe one store, just like the Circle K. One Circle K, they have what? They have so many different business, right? They may sell Coca-Cola, Sprite, sell batteries, sell the potato chips. They may have many transactions over in one Circle K. So that's why one store may have so many transactions. So the relationship between the store and transaction also 1 to many. Is it clear? Right here, right? So the relationship is like that, 1 to many. Am I right? How about 1 to 1? 1 to 1. Will we have some relation, one to one relationship? The answer is yes. For example, you and your husband or you and your wife, the relationship is 1-on-1. So finally, what should you do? Will you link together? Okay, both of you will live in a separate room, and then sometimes you meet together and date outside in the restaurant? No. So finally, what you should do is to move and live together in a single apartment. So that's why for those one-on-one relationship, we will not do with inside the PowerPivot, because all the one-on-one relationship should be what? Put in the same table. That means all the record in the same table, the relationship are what? Are one-on-one. So no one-on-one relationship will be put inside the PowerPivot editor. Is it clear? And you say, how about those are many-to-many relationship? How to deal with that? For example, Maybe you have many boyfriends, and your boyfriend will have many girlfriends. Then this relationship is what? It's many to many. Maybe make it simple. Okay, maybe you are some active member in some table of 6 activity. Okay, so what should you do? Then you need to have an agent in between. Okay, those are 6 people, those 3 people and 3 people, right? So how about the agent? How to link up the relationship? How to build the agent? Let me show you. For example, over here, can you imagine? Basically, over here, the relationship for this customer and for this table store, the relationship is already many to many. For example, like David Man over here, or maybe many customers in Hong Kong. They may visit many different Circle K in Hong Kong, right? Maybe you may go to the Kowloon Tong's at Circle K to buy stuff. Maybe you go to TST's at Circle K to buy stuff. And then many customers may map to many Circle K, right? And this relationship is what? It's many to many. So that's why, as you can see here, if you need to manage those many to many relationships, then what you should do is to do what? To build a transaction table in between these 2 records. So finally, the reason why we will have transaction in between these 2 tables is because the relationship between the customer and the store are many to many. So, as a sum up, again, for customer with business, the relationship is 1 to many, right? For the relationship between you and your husband with you is what? Is 1-on-1. Then for this kind of relationship, we should build 1 table to put all the data into a single table, right? So we will not manage it inside the PowerPivot. And the third type is what? Many to many. And the scenario over here between customer and store are many to many. So that's why we need to build a transaction table in between them. Is it here? So, although I have already explained so many this kind of concept to you, but finally, David, what I'm looking for is an analysis report, how to do it. Okay, that's the problem. So, let's have a look. Okay, if you say, David, okay, how to generate a report? Just go to the home over here, home option over here. Can you see here, we've got something called the P4 table. Just go to home. Home. And over here, we've got something called the PuP table. PuP table, right? Just click the PuP table. And over here, it will ask, okay, whether or not you would like to build a PuP table with a little spreadsheet. I say yes. And then a new spreadsheet has already been created, and it will be named as Sheet 1, right? And over here, I would better suggest you, okay, it will pop up a message to ask you, okay, external data connection has been disabled. Whether or not you would like to enable it again. I say yes, enable it again. To make sure all the data will be up to date, okay? Because my screen is so small, so you better to close the QV panel first, okay? Just click the close button. And then drag and drop, okay, to make the panel for PuP table bigger, okay? And also, if you say, David, I would like to resume and get back to the PowerQV, then what should I do? I would like to view the PowerQV panel. Over here, under the Data tab, you see we've got an option called the QV and connection. If you click this button again, then the panel will show up again. Close it. Show up. Close it. Is it clear? Now on your right hand side, what is the differences between the PowerPivot and PuP table? Let's have a look here. PowerPivot and PuP table. Okay, basically for PowerPivot and PuP table, we have some differences between. That is, for normal pivot, okay, what we can deal with is 1 single table. For PowerPivot, we can deal with several tables, and then they will be linked together to form a data model, and then we can do further data analysis. And for the Excel, okay, normal pivot, okay, the maximum number of rows of data. What we can handle is 1 million. 1 million only. And over here, PowerPivot, unlimited, they say. Virtually unlimited, okay? And over here, okay, what we can do is using some basic calculator field to do some calculation. However, for PowerPivot, we will introduce a much more complicated expression to the PowerPivot, and then we will carry out some complicated calculation with a new language called the DAX expression. Okay, this is very useful. In the future, if you say, I would like to put this capability to my resume, then after this lesson, you may put this capability in your resume. Okay? So, this is the differences. Okay, on the left-hand side, what you can see are the fields. And here, you can see more table over here. Okay, so, let's have a look. Okay, more table. On the right-hand side, if you click here, it will expand. Customer ID, sex, date of birth, education, something like that, right? If I say, well, David, I would like to do some analysis, okay, on what? On the, let's say, okay, on the invoice price, okay, for which, whether or not, okay, the invoice price is related to their education or not. Okay, so what should we do? Let's have a look here. First, okay, go to the transaction table over here, and over here we just simply select the invoice price, right? We just simply check and drop the invoice price to the value field over here. Okay, the invoice price, drag and drop, okay, to the value field over here. And then what you got here is the sum of the invoice price of all the invoice over here, just like this. And now, what next is whether or not it is related to the education. So, I would like to go to the customer ID table, and over here, I just select the education and drag and drop to the row over here. And then what we've got here is, here are the education, and the right hand side is the total invoice price for each category. If you say, well, David, I would like to, okay, make it more visible. So how to do it? First, okay, highlight this area and press the Ctrl+Shift+4 to convert them into $sign. Ctrl+Shift+4, do you remember what is Ctrl+Shift+4? Okay, very easy to remember on your keyboard. Okay, 4, okay, we will have a simple $sign. So that's why Ctrl+Shift+4 is $sign. If you would like to convert them into percentage sign, which key you should press? Ctrl+Shift+5. If you would like to convert them into scientific notation, then Ctrl+Shift+6. Why? Because Ctrl+6, 6, the cap, that means index, right? If you want to convert them into a time format, Ctrl+Shift+2. Why? Because 2, we've got the @ sign. The @ sign ampersand sign, the @ sign, what does it mean? That look like the clock face. So Ctrl+Shift+2 is the clock face, that is time. For Ctrl+Shift+3, that is a date. However, I suggest you to Ctrl+Shift+4, okay, to make it to convert back to $sign first. This is first thing I would like to teach you. The second thing is what? Highlight them. And then again, go to the what? Go to the home. And over here, we've got something called the conditional formatting. Choose the data bar. Okay, like this. Then have a look over here. That means, okay, well, basically, for those with education college, okay, they will give us a more profit. Maybe you can call it as like this. Of course, this is not fair because we need to calculate the average instead. okay, because of maybe the number of a customer with college education, maybe they are in a large amount. So finally, we will got they will have a more contribution to our business. So what should we do? Just do something similar to what we did in the pivot table. Over here, click the what? Sum of invoice. Okay, my sum of invoice price. Click here, and then choose the option called the value field setting. Value field setting. Click value field setting. Click value field setting. Over here, choose average. Click OK. And finally, what we've got here is we find that no matter which category, basically the average invoice price is more or less the same. That means it is nothing related to the education. Okay, is it here? Okay, this is only the case start. Okay, to know more about what is pivot table, PowerPivot, something like that. Is it here up to this moment? Any question? It's only case start of this session. Okay. No problem? No problem? Okay, that's great. Okay, now, okay, only, and now, please carry on, okay? I would like to keep on, okay, doing, okay? This is only a revision only, okay? And now, okay, we would like to open another table, okay? Because in the sub file, altogether, I will give you two sample files. One is sample recap, and then another one called the sample file. Please close this file first, okay? File, close. It asks you to save, say yes, save. And then what next is to open another file. This file, sample.xlsx. And then after that, click the enable content. Click the enable content. After that, okay, just have a look. As you can see here, okay, the sample file, this one, the sample XLSX file. What's the size of this file? Altogether, 15 megabytes. However, what you can see here is nothing. How come nothing here? It will occupy altogether 15 megabyte memory space. But the reason why? Because all this kind of, all the data has already been retrieved to what? To the data model. So what we should do is to go to the data over here, and then click the manage data model. After that, after you click the manage data model, what you can see here are the data, right? Altogether, we've got customer lookup, store lookup, product lookup, calendar lookup, transaction, region lookup, and returns, right? And over here, if you say, I would like to have an overview on the relationship between these tables, then what should you do? Again, click the diagram view. Well, the relationship is not so complicated, right? Basically, in the real life, okay, this is not complicated. Okay, the relationship here is not complicated at all. Okay, so what are they? Okay, the relationships. First of all, okay, I would like to, okay, give some idea first. Okay, most of the time, okay, we will treat the actually, well, basically, okay, for nowadays requirement for doing data analysis, basically the machine that provided by our company is not strong enough. Okay, be honest. Be honest. That's why, okay, for today's session, I use my own machine, my own paid machine, okay, for today's session. The reason why, okay, because you know, for nowadays, okay, those data analysis are very complicated, okay. So very strong CPU is not enough. Even though the machine you are using is with an i7 core CPU, it's not strong enough for doing data analysis. So that's why we would like to buy some machine with also have a very powerful GPU as well. Do you know what's GPU? Graphic Processing Unit. That means, okay, in the old time, only for those graphic design guy, or maybe movie maker, or maybe those programmer, may need to have such machines. However, for nowadays, for those data scientists, they also need to have such a powerful PC to do data analysis. For example, this machine, okay, it cost me nearly 20,000 Hong Kong. Okay, for this one, because it is equipped with the 1070 GPU. So that's why I will use this machine to do data analysis, and also to do some AI stuff, and also I will create some AR or VR application with this machine. Yeah, this is very important. Okay, because in the old time, whenever your son or your kid, okay, asks you for a very strong GPU computer, you may guess, okay, he or she may want to have a powerful machine for gaming. However, for nowadays, maybe their secondary school assignment may need to have such a powerful machine to deal with. This is very important nowadays. Yeah. So, I think, okay, if you can't load this diagram, I think you better reboot your machine, because your machine may be out of memory. Okay. And now, just have a look here. Okay, as you can see here, okay, I just asked a question. Okay, first of all, okay, for my best practice, I will always do one thing, that is to rearrange the tables in this manner. In what manner? Just like this. I will put the transaction table at the top of the diagram. Do you know why? Do you know why? Okay, because, okay, I would like to, okay, put it at the top of the calendar so that I can view it easier. Okay, I can view it easier. Okay. I just put it like this. Okay. Yeah, like this. And return and region lookup I will put at the bottom part of the table. Okay, and the calendar lookup I will put in this way. Maybe yeah, just like this. Okay, easier to look up. Okay, just have a look. Okay, and now for transaction. Okay, can you see over here? Can you see over here? We've got some relationship. Okay, how to manage the relationship? Okay, again, I would like you to open the design over here and then click the manage relationship. See all together how many relationships we've got. Okay, over here we've got all together 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 relationships altogether, right? And for this one, okay, they will show you all of them are many to one. However, one more thing I would like to show you, that is, how come we've got a relationship that is no relationship? Active status is no active status. The reason why? Because there are some relationship, okay, if they are being enabled, may alter, maybe affect our analysis. So that's why we may have some relationship. We need to turn on or turn off them. So we will have a concept called the yes or no option inside the active way. Okay, so how to do it? Just like this. As you can see here, for relationship, we have some in dotted line, some in solid line, right? For those in dotted line, of course, this is in inactive way status. So that's why if you would like to change the status over here, just simply right click this and then to set mark as active. Of course, the other way around, if you can see those relationships are in solid line, that means that is already activate. If you right click them, then you may mark them as inactive. So over here, as you can see between the date, the calendar lookup and the transaction table. Okay, what are these relationships? Okay, you can see obviously, okay, they are linked, okay, from this table to that table. Okay, if you would like to look at which relationship they are building up, just simply double click this relationship, then you can see. Double click this relationship. Can you see this relationship? Okay, just do it again. Over here, between the calendar lookup and the transaction. Okay, we have two relationships. The first one is the solid line, and the second one is with dotted line. We just simply double click the solid line relationship. See what happened. As you can see here, the first one is the transaction table. The second one is from the calendar lookup. Obviously, okay, they're linked together with what? With the transaction day and the date inside the calendar lookup. So, the PK from calendar lookup is the date, and the corresponding FK in the transaction table is the transaction date. So, what does it mean? That means if we generate a pivot table, okay, if we change the date over here, then it will alter the options inside the transaction. Okay, so let us do it. See whether it is what I'm saying. So what should we do? I just go to Home and then go to the pivot table. And then over here, it will ask, okay, whether or not you would like to create a new worksheet. I say yes. And then on your right hand side, as I mentioned before, calendar lookup, right? If I say, well, I would like to have the date over here on the row, over here, and I would like to call also those corresponding transaction information. Then I just click over here, and then inside the transaction, what we got here is the quality. Can you see this? Quality. And just drop. So what you can see here is 1997, and then in different quarter, different days, then we got different sum of quantity over here on the right hand side. But you may feel very surprised. The reason why? Because if you fall back, okay, click this button, manage data model, and fall back to this structure, what you can see here is how come, okay, inside the transaction, there should be more than one field, okay? Besides the quantity, there also should be have what? The stock dates, the product ID, customer ID, and store ID. How come we cannot find in the PowerPivot? The reason why? Because as you can see here, all these fields are gray in color, right? Just imagine one thing, okay? Because for this transaction table, because as you can see here, for the calendar lookup, it has already linked, okay, with the dates over here. To link to the what? Link to the transaction date of the transaction table. If both table with the same field being linked together, then maybe make people got mixed. Okay, so for more convenient, okay, to prevent people from getting mixed of these two linked column. So we can do something like this. Right-click the field, and then to hide the client choose option. Just do it like this. If you point to a field over here and right-click, then you may find an option called the hide from client choose. After you click this, then this field will be gray in color, and then you cannot be viewed, okay, inside the pivot table. However, if you would like to resume it, just simply right-click the graded field again, and then to click the unhide from client choose, then it will appear again. Is it clear? So, in this scenario, okay, I press alternate tab. Because the transaction table, all the fields are being hide, okay, from the client tools. So most of the columns cannot be viewed inside the PowerPivot. What you can see here is only the quantity field. Can you see this? Okay, it is much more easier for people to make use of this model, okay, and prevent from doing something wrong, okay, with it. So that's why we will have the high column from the client choose option inside the data model. Is it clear? Okay, is it clear? And again, if you say, well, David, maybe from transaction table again. If I say, well, David, I would like to to do analysis, okay, with the with also the store information as well. So what should we do? What should we do? Okay, what should we do? Let's say here. Over here, we've already got the transaction over here, right? If we'd like to do analysis on the column row, okay, so I would like to make use of those store information. So go to the table, store lookup. As you can see here is the store location, right? Just simply drag and drop the store location to the column. And then on the right hand side, then you may easily to formulate a table to do analysis on different days and in different location in the world. Okay, just like this. Drag and drop. This is basically some basic concept I given you to let you know more about what is PowerPivot analysis. So maybe right now have a 10 minutes break and then come back, then we will continue more in-depth features in PowerPivot. Okay?係啊，會㗎。OK， 好啊。 version，咦？但係佢點解未倒落去嘅？呢個 I 嚟嘅咯，已經係。睇下先，係喎，你呢個係舊 version 嚟嘅。係啊，你聽住我哋講先啦，睇住隔離嘅同事睇下，唔好意思啊，因為真係舊 version 呢個唔係原來呢個。哦，可能係手機啊，咁樣唔好意思啊。我發覺到連我呢一部機好似都悶悶地啊，推得，不過應該都 OK 嘅。好。 Okay. Okay, maybe come back to this scenario again. Okay, as you can see over my PDF file, okay, I would like to give another concept to all of you regarding to the data relationship, because what I mentioned before is that okay, you may just simply drag and drop okay the permanent key to the foreign key of another table, and then the relationship will be built for you, right? And this is the first thing I would like to teach. And second thing, that is if you would like to build one more relationship between two tables, you may mark the relationship whether it is active or inactive, okay, by right-clicking the relationship and then to turn it into a dotted line or solid line, okay. This is a very simple, okay, operation. However, another thing I would like to like you to put an eye on, that is related to the filter direction, okay, which also can be found okay in the data model, okay, in the data model. Okay, let's have a look over here. The calendar lookup table, transaction and returns. Okay, calendar lookup table over here, transaction and return. Okay, and return. Okay, we just have a look on this fee table. Wow, very complicated. Okay, calendar lookup. Okay, transaction and return. If I put it in this way, it's much more easier. Okay, for you to have a look. Okay, on this table of returns. Okay. I think it will look better now. Okay, it will look better now. Okay, can you see here? Okay, basically, okay, if transaction is like that, one to many, that means one calendar lookup, okay, may look up more than one transaction. For example, very simple, this mechanism. Maybe for today's, okay, in historical case transaction, maybe today we will, there are 10,000 transactions over there. So one day will match to many transactions. This simulation, this scenario is very easy, right? And here also the return. Return is basically calculate the quantity, okay, the return, okay, of the stock of the 睇先 connect 咩意思啊？死啦！我點樣睇翻個唔好意思啊？好101,702 ，OK 102.170.2.175.1234。Okay, just have a look here again. Okay, so as you can see here, the relationship, okay, for the calendar to the transaction and the calendar to the returns, the relationship are one to many. Okay, this is very obvious. Okay, however, okay, another thing you need to pay attention to is the filter direction. Filter direction. The reason why, because okay, here, okay, although we link up these two if you say, okay, we have another terminology. Actually, we have another terminology. Because in the old time, okay, we will call those fields inside the value field, we'll call it as something called the calculator field. Calculator field. That means that after we get and drop over here, and there will be some calculation provided. We'll call this kind of field called calculator field. However, in the PowerPivot, we will name this field as measure. So from now onward, I will use the term measure, okay, to define, okay, the value inside this those calculation inside the value section. We will call it as the measure calculation. Okay. So what are they? Actually, let's have a look. As I mentioned before, okay, for the calculation, let me do it again. Okay. If you say, I would like to do analysis, we will fall back to the home field over here. And then under the home tab, we have an option called the pivot table. And inside the pivot table, and we can use the pivot table to do further analysis. However, just simply jump back to the data view. Just simply click the data view over here. In the data view, please choose the product lookup table. Please choose the product lookup table. As you can see here, okay, each record over here, we've got something called the Washington cream sole, and here is the product SKU, and here is the product retail price, product cost, product weight, something like that, right? However, if I say, well, David, I would like to do further calculation. Okay, for example, I would like to know the profit. Okay, for example, we've got the retail price, right? And here is the product cost. Okay, then we should be able to calculate, okay, the profit we can get from this product, right? So how to do it? Basically, can you see on the right hand side, we've got something called the add column. In the old time, okay, we'll call this kind of operation that is called to add some calculator field. And now we would like to add one more column over here. So how to do it? The operation is like that. Okay, from here, with in the add column, over here, you just type equal to what? Okay, I just enlarge this field. Okay, again, first of all, go to column. Oh no, I did something wrong. Okay, first of all, go to the add column, and then what next? To click the formula bar over here. If you click the formula bar over here, if you would like to enlarge, okay, what you are typing over here, the method is very simple. Just simply click the control button and then move your mouse wheel to the top. Move upward, move backward, upward, forward, and backward, forward, and backward. Then you may control your character size inside the formula bar. Okay, over here, just type equal to what? Equal to, I would like to equal to the product retail price. Now, after you click the product retail price over here, because what we are doing here is to add some column field function. So when you click one of the field inside the column, then it will close. Okay, that is the product lookup table. Which column? Product retail price column. To do what? To do the subtraction operation minus something called the product cost. Remember, this kind of rotation is the table field rotation. Product table. Which field? Product underscore retail field. Sorry, and minus which table? Product lookup table. which field? Product cost field. And this kind of calculation and this formula, you call this kind of expression as DAX expression. It's here because it is different from the old thing, okay? In the Microsoft Excel spreadsheet, in the old time, I will use the A1 style, right? A1 minus A2, something like that. However, inside the PowerPivot, we're using the DAX, okay, formula to do it. So after that, press enter. So you'll have some calculated column has been generated over here, right? Because I want to create an additional column over here, so I just simply right-click this and delete the column. Okay, sorry, this is my mistake. Okay, but for this one is correct. Okay, however, maybe you say, well, calculated column, the name of this column will become calculated column 2, right? The name is not that good. So what should I do? Then maybe here I will say this is something called the profits. Something called the profits. Okay, how to do it? How to rename it as a profit? Right-click this, and over here we just double-click. Double-click this is better. Okay, double-click here, and then we rename it as profits. And enter. Then what you got here is this is the profit, and an additional column has been created, right? And what next? Okay, because we have already created an additional column inside this table. So if you go back to the diagram view, see what happened. As I mentioned before, we have already added an additional column inside the what? The product lookup table. As you can see here, we've got an additional field called profit over here inside the diagram view. Can you see this? That means if we would like to do the pivot table analysis, then we can do one more. We may do some analysis on the profit as well. Is it clear? Is it clear? And this kind of expression is the AX expression. Okay. And now here we've got the discounted price. Discounted price. If I say I would like to calculate, okay, the discount, okay, the percentage, the discount percentage, okay, given by each product, okay. So how to do the calculation? Okay, for example, over here we've got something called the product retail price, and over here we've got the retail price. How to calculate the percentage, the discount percentage? How to do it? Just do it by yourself. How to do it? Just click here, add column, and click the formula bar over here again, and type equal to what? Equal to what? Equal to how to calculate? How to calculate? Very simple, right? How to calculate? The retail price minus, right? Maybe I use this way. Okay, open bracket. Okay, retail price minus the what? Discount price, and then over the retail price, enter. And here we name it. Okay. Okay. You say, well, I would like to show the percentage. Very simple. highlight this row, and over here in home here, click the percentage. And you will know, okay, here is the 20% off, 19% off, 19% off, 20% off, basically more or less 20% off for each product, okay, each item. This is actually is not so difficult, right? This is what we so-called the DAX formula, right? Of course, if you say, well, David, okay, I would like, well, this is very simple. It is more or less like that in Excel formula, right? Yes, that is. So that's why in your resume, you may call yourself no DAX already. Just kidding, okay, not that easy, right? Okay, and now, okay, another thing I would like to tell you is, okay, can you see over here? Okay, at the top right corner, can you see something called the calculation area? Okay, basically on your right hand side, you can add additional column to this table, right? In the pivot, in the data model. However, over here, can you see something called the calculation area? What does it mean by calculation area? Click this. We'll find that something disappears at the bottom part of the spreadsheet, right? If you click here again, calculation, wow, that's it. Basically, the bottom part over here is basically something called the calculation area. Calculation area. What does it mean? That means you may add some special calculation for this table. And this kind of calculation, we'll call it as measure. We'll call it as measure. And for this one, we'll call this is the column calculation. Will be column calculator field. However, over here, we will have a term called the measure. Basically, most of the measure inside a table will do something called the aggregate calculation. Do you know what is aggregate calculation? For example, to calculate the average price of each item, to calculate the total price for all items. Maybe to calculate, okay, the total cost, the average cost, average retail price, or average discount price, okay, for all items. This is what we so-called the aggregate analysis. Okay, so how to do it? Okay, so please enable the calculator area over here, and then over here, we just type something. Okay. In which field are also okay? Which field are also okay? Just click one of the field over here, and then click here, and enlarge it. Okay, for example, I would like to calculate the product, the average product retail price, average product retail price, AVG retail, something like that. And here, colon. Equal to AVERAGE average. Average what? Average something from this table. Okay, which table? We can select, okay, from this, drop down this box, because we would like to calculate average price from the product retail price. Okay, product lookup, product retail price. Then we can scroll down. Okay, and then select the option here. Product lookup, product retail price. And then after that, close bracket, enter. Then what you can see over here, inside the calculation area, then you will got something called the AVG underscore retail. The average retail price is 2.117, something like that. This is the one of the measure. If, after this calculation, if you fall back to the diagram view, see what happened? Can you see over here, inside the table, product lookup? Because for this one, are some calculated column. So they will have the same icon with those columns that originally inside the table. However, for this one, as I mentioned before, this is what we so-called the measures, right? But most of the time, they are performing some aggregate calculation, then the icon are different. The icon is just like a formula sign over here, right? So if you say, if I would like to do further, to do more calculation, more the aggregate calculation, to have more measures, then what should I do? Just select another field inside the calculation area, and then over here, again, AVG, FH, the product cost, okay, FH cost, COST, colon again, and again, FH, open bracket. Of course, if you say, if I don't want to see that over here, then what should I do? Simple, just click the field over here, close bracket, again, enter, we got it, FH underscore cost, okay, and the result is 0.85, something like that. Remember to give a name for the measure, okay, it's like this. You need to first of all to type the name over here and give a colon sign here, and then type equal, and then what you type here is the DAX formula that that built inside the PowerPivot. Basically, for those DAX formula, the syntax is more or less the same as the Excel formula. Yeah, but the major differences is that, okay, we call the table name and then call the column name. This is the differences, the major differences between the DAX formula and the Excel formula. Okay, and now go to another field here, call the transaction. Okay, call the transaction. The reason I would like to go to the transaction is like this. Can you see the table called transaction table, right? As I mentioned before, okay, we may add some additional column in the table, right? However, okay, why we would like to add some additional column? For example, just like the one, okay, the product lookup, okay. Basically, I think it is not necessary to do it over here, David. The reason why, because basically all the fields are in the same table. What does it mean? That means you may do it in what? In the Excel spreadsheet instead of doing it in the PowerPivot. However, what kind of calculation you must be done inside the PowerPivot environment? Okay, let me show you. In the transaction table, okay, as you can see here, for each transaction over here, we've got something called the quantity. Quantity, right? That means the number of items the purchase, okay, the purchase from this transaction, right? And over here we've got the ID. The foreign key is the product ID, right? So we may make use of the quantity here and the product ID here to calculate the total price of this transaction. So how to do it? Okay, just simply click here. The add column over here again, okay, equal to what? Equal to the quantity times what? Okay, I guess, okay, I guess the price to be in the product table, right? P R O, what can you see? Product lookup. You see here, after I type PRO, because as I can remember, okay, those price related information should come from the product underscore lookup table, right? So when I key in the PRO, can you see over here, we've got the table name, product underscore lookup table name over here, right? And here also we can find from the icon, this object should be a table inside the PowerPivot, right? So I double click this thing, I choose product underscore lookup, and then what next? Because I would like to select the column I would like to get, okay, from this table. So I type the what? The square bracket, and what you get here is what? It's the product lookup FH cost. Wow, how come? This is not the thing I would like to get, right? How come? Wow. Because I suppose, okay, to multiply here, okay, what we got here should be what? Should be the information from the table. However, we cannot see it, okay. Over here, we've just got, okay, the average cost, okay, from the table. Basically, this is what I would like to tell you here is, this is the differences between the calculated field and the measure. Basically, if you put all the calculated field inside the as a measure, that means whenever we call the table, then you in another table, then you may directly call those things inside the in the measure. If you would like to call those detailed information in depth, just like in the column level, then you need to making use of the pivot table instead. Okay, so this is what I want to show you. This is the major differences between the calculated field and the measure. For the measure, you may call in the table level, okay, in the DAX formula directly inside the calculated column. However, for the calculated column, you cannot call it directly from one table to another. This is the major differences. So that means in the future, if you would like to do it, then what should you do? Then you better do it in the pivot table instead, okay? In the pivot table instead, okay? So now, another thing, here is the measure, and here is the calculated field again, okay? This is the product lookup, okay? And now, let's have a look here. For the calculated column, as a recap, okay? So you may type the DAX formula over here. And for the measure, okay, the measures basically, if you drag and drop in the pivot table, okay, all the calculation here inside the field, we'll call it as a measure. But this kind of measure, we call it an implicit measure. It means after you drag and drop here, then the system will automatically do the calculation for you, just like do the summation or average, just like that. However, if you would like to do some calculation which are more complicated, and you must need to code the explicit measure, just like what I just did inside the PowerPivot table in the measure area. What I need to type is the formula, just like this, okay? The summation, average, something like that. This is what we so-called the explicit measures, okay? Of course, if you say, well, David, if I would like to do some more complicated calculation, then what else formula we can use in the DAX? Okay, basically just have a look over here. For the math calculation, as you can see here, sum, average, minimum, maximum, basically they are the same as that in the Microsoft Excel. Okay, and here we also have the if error and or switch, something like that. Basically, they are most of them are the same as that of the Microsoft Excel. Okay, and here, another thing, if you say, well, anyway, I've just find that, okay, if we go back to the Microsoft Excel, okay, over here, can you see over here, inside the PowerPivot, okay, PowerPivot, this is actually the PowerPivot environment. If we fall back, okay, to the Excel spreadsheet over here, can you see the PowerPivot option? Okay, PowerPivot option. Can you see here? We also have something called the measure. What does it mean? If I click measure here, and then click the manage measure, and then over here you can see, because I just, okay, in the Microsoft PowerPivot, I've already added two measures in the table. One is the average cost, and the other one is the average retail. Okay, so you can see all the measures you just create in different table. Okay, you can manage all the measures in this environment. Instead, you jump to the PowerPivot from one table to manage all the calculation. This is number one. And the point number 2 is, if you would like to add it, then how to do it? Just like this. Click here, and then click the add the option. Then it will not bring you back to the table. It will just show you a dialog box in this environment. Okay, just have a look over here. The first thing that is, okay, here it will mention, okay, where does the measure is placed inside the which table this measure is built. Okay, what you can see here is the Porter underscore lookup. This is the name of the table. So finally, once we create the measure called FH cost, and this measure will be put under this table. Of course, if you say, I would like to add some additional description, okay, for this table, for this measure, then you might type V over here. And here is the area for you to key in those formulas. Okay, and here, because for each result, okay, for those calculation, we should assign a suitable data type. So over here, okay, you may assign, for example, here you will do the calculation to calculate the FH product cost. Okay, so finally, okay, by default, it will give a general data type, okay, for the result of the calculation. However, if you say this measure, the data type should be number, and you may just simply select number, and over here you may format the result to be decimal number and with correct to the decimal place to 2 decimal place. Okay, if so, okay, then you will change, okay, the measures, okay, over here. Okay, this is the first thing. And second thing, that is, if you are with a very good memory, you can also making use of this measure option to create some new measure for each table. For example, over here, I click new measure. Okay, because my memory is not that good, okay, I need to jump back, okay, to the table over here, okay, to the table over here. For example, here I got the store lookup. Okay, here is the store lookup. Okay, altogether we have a different store. Okay, here store lookup. If I say, well, I would like to, okay, add some calculation, okay, to the to count the number of store, So what should I do? Over here, and I would like to add the measure, okay, the table name. Add this measure to which table? Okay, to the store lookup. I would like to add an additional measure called the number of store. Okay, something like that. And here, I would like to count the total number of store. So how to do it? Count. Which count? Count A. That means count all. Count which one? I would like to count all. Sorry, my screen is so small. Okay. Count all from store lookup ID. Yeah, this one. Store underscore lookup store ID. I want to, okay, count this one. And after that, close bracket. And then what next? Because this is definitely a number. Then a number. Decimal number, whole number, because it should be a whole number. So I select whole number. Okay, no decimal place. After that, click OK. Then after that, we just jump back to the diagram view of the data PowerPivot. And then over here, inside the store lookup, you will see we've got an additional field called the number of store over here. And if you jump back to the data view, inside the store lookup, then what you can see here is the total number of store is 24. Can you see this? Can you see this? Okay, so now we have already know how to build measures and calculate the column over here, right? And now we just jump back, okay, to the pivot table, okay? So after we have already added some additional column, okay, to the table and some measures to the table, so finally, how to making use of those additional columns and measures to do analysis. So, take the pivot table again, jump back here, new worksheet. So, if I say, well, I would like to do a lookup, okay, let's say, okay, for a store, okay, for a store, okay, in a certain location. I drop the store location to the row field over here. And then after that, I say I would like to do some calculation on the product lookup. After I click this, can you see over here? I've got, okay, some fields over here. Okay, can you see over here? We've got something called the profit. Can you see something called the profit over here? If I click the product lookup, can you see here? I've got an option called the more fields, right? After I click the more fields, can you see over here? I've got an option called the profit, and also I also got another field called discount underscore P. Can you see over here? Okay, for these two fields, which are created by us inside the PowerPivot, right? So if I drag and drop the profit to the value over here, see what happened. And then it will have something called the auto detect create. What does it mean? Because, okay, as I say before, okay, the product lookup here, okay, because for the product lookup and the store lookup over here, just jump back to the diagram here. Okay, for the store lookup and which table, and the product lookup over here. Okay, which one to build a relationship between the store lookup and the product lookup? Okay, the store lookup and product lookup. In between is the transaction, right? What in between is the transaction. So can you see the transaction in here is, okay, the store lookup will have is point to the direction to the transaction. However, here inside the product lookup, okay, the product lookup is also point to the transaction as well. That means, what does it mean? That means, okay, there are no direct communication between the store lookup and the product lookup. So that's why when we do this kind of calculation, what happened? Okay, then they will give some wrong calculation for us. Can you see, as you can see here, sum of profits, okay, the calculation is wrong, right? And whenever we do this calculation, then they will have a what? Have a pop-up message to remind us there should be no relationship in between them. So they will ask you whether you would like to build a relationship to create one or auto detect. This is the problem. So don't just think that, okay, once we create the relationship, we can drop freely, okay, inside the pivot table. The answer is no. You need to be aware of this kind of the directional pointer inside the relationship, or else we'll do some wrong calculation. This is very important. Okay? So now that's why, okay, we would like to have something different, okay, in doing this kind of calculation. Okay, so we cannot do this kind of analysis. Okay, so that's why if you say, well, David, if I would like to calculate another thing, okay, to know, okay, the information for each quantity over here in the transaction, okay, and then to calculate the quality of each product, is it possible? Then the answer is yes, because the direction is flow from here to there. Okay, so if we do the analysis like this, okay, to check the product and the transaction, then we can very simple to do the, okay, for example, the brand over here, and then here we will link to the sum of profit, okay, because of the same table, and it is very simple. However, if we say I would like to know the transaction, number of transactions for each brand, then we can also do it by drag and drop like this. Because over here we can see the relationships is like that. The product will have a relationship to point to the transaction. So that's why we can use the product brand here to what? To do some data analysis with the quantity stored in the transaction table. Is it clear? So that's why don't just cheat it. Okay, whenever we link up all the table, then we can do whatever we want. The answer is no. You need to be aware of the arrow direction over here. Is it clear? Okay, and other thing that is, okay, how about the return over here? The return over here. Because can we to do some analysis on the return quantity? The answer is also yes. Can you see here? We also have an arrow from the product table point to the return. So we can make use of this quantity and the information inside the product lookup over here to do some analysis. And also here we've got the candidate lookup as well. We can use the candidate lookup to look up all the related information to consolidate all of them together. Okay, let's have a look over here. For example, here we've got the calendar, right? Because for the calendar, the direction is from calendar point to transaction, and from the transaction, and also from the calendar point to the return as well. So we can do another analysis just like this. For the calendar over here, we can use the days, okay, in the column, and then we can do some analysis on which day we have how many transactions, okay, to do in each day. So we can simply check and drop the quality value in the transaction table over the value. Then we can do the analysis, and then when we explain the days, then we can see the detail. Of course, just do the same thing over here. If we drag and drop the return quality over here, then we get the correct calculation as well. The reason why, because the arrow over here, okay, from the calendar is point from the calendar to the transaction, and here is also from the calendar point to the return as well. Can you see this relationship? Okay, and also here, if I say I would like to, okay, using the store to do some transaction calculation, because the previous example is like that. Okay, we would like to try to link up both the store to link up to the product. but this is totally wrong. So what should we do? As you can see here, we can have some calculation on what? The store lookup over here to calculate the transaction in each store, because the direction of arrow over here is from the store point to the transaction. So we can do another calculation is like that. Okay, I just remove all the field over here. And again, from the store lookup, point to the transaction. From the store lookup, we look for the field over here. Store lookup. Here is the store location. Canada, Mexico, USA. We can point to the what? Point to the transaction over here to calculate the quantity. So, transaction quantity. This is sum of quantity for each location. And also, is it possible for us to do analysis with the store location here to do analysis with the quantity inside the return table? The answer is yes or no. Yes or no? Yes. Why? Because the direction is point from what? The store lookup table to the return table. So do the same thing here, just like what we did before. That is return, drag and drop. And we can do the calculation as well according to the what? The direction of the arrow inside the relationship. Is it clear? This is very important because some of our colleagues, okay, just check it. Once we link up all the relationship, then we can do whatever we want, okay, drag and drop all the time. But the reason why you cannot do analysis sometimes because of the direction of the arrow inside the relationship, okay? This is not, okay, some killing tools, okay, because you need to be aware of the relationship between each table as well, okay? Don't just take it for granted, you can do whatever you want. Okay, and another thing I would like to tell you, that is, as you can see here, at the topmost part, what you can see here are those tables, okay, which are retrieved from the what? From the Power Query, right? However, at the bottom part of them, they are those what? Raw data, okay, from the what? From the Excel spreadsheet. Can you see at the bottom part over here are the raw table at the bottom part? All those are raw data from the spreadsheet. So if you say, David, I would like to keep this list, okay, as simple as possible. Is it possible? Yes. The answer is yes. Why? Can you see over here on the left hand side? Okay, over here we've got an option called all, and this one called active rate. Can you see we've got two columns over here? Basically, for active rate, that means, okay, for those tables which are frequently used, you may treat them as active rate. Just like this, okay, for example, how to do it? For example, over here, we have a table called the calendar underscore lookup table over here, right? But this one is not active rate. So what should you do? You may right-click them and then click this option to say show in active tab. After you select this table and right-click and select show in active tab, and then when you click to the active tab, what you can see here is you can find the table called the calendar lookup over here. Can you see this option? If you say, well, this one, okay, I don't want to see it in the active tab, then what should you do? Right-click it again and remove from the active tab. Then to make it simple, easier easier for you to use the pivot table. Because, okay, if you further, okay, to go in depth to do some more complicated analysis, if you all the time you go to the all to see all the data inside the spreadsheet, it may become a little bit messy. However, if you just select those tables that is required for your analysis and put them inside the active tab, I think you can make the thing more simple. Is it okay? Because for this session, I just want to go in depth on the some some very important point that you may use in the PowerPivot. If you would like to know, okay, step more elementary analysis tools, I think you better to do revision with my previous recording material that I put in the YouTube, okay, to do revision. Because I think most of you didn't attend the first session that I delivered in the last week. So that's why I think most of you are getting lost, okay, in this session. But for those, okay, who attend my first session, maybe you will understand more because you have more background information on what is PowerQE and what is PowerPivot. Okay, so maybe that's the end of today's session. I will send you back the recording. And maybe I will have more in-depth information, some reading material may send to you to let you have more understand on what is the how to operate or how to do a report with the PowerPivot analytic tools. Okay, so maybe this is the end of today's session. Okay, thank you for coming. Okay. 唔該晒。